Shaddai, Almighty King, to you alone I lift my offering. Jehovah Jireh, you provide. In every storm, you're by my side. El Elyon, the Most High One, bright morning star, the risen sun. Adonai, sovereign Lord above, clothed in justice, mercy, and love. You are my God, forever the same, forever the same. Mighty and holy, I bless your name. Alpha, Omega, beginning and end. You are my God, my Savior, my everything. Jehovah Rapha, Lord who heals, your power and truth forever revealed. Jehovah Nissi, my banner raised, to you alone belongs all praise. The great I am, unchanging one, who was and is to come. Emmanuel, God with us still, ruler of all, whose word fulfilled. You are my God, forever the same, forever the same. Mighty and holy, I bless your name. Alpha, Omega, beginning and end. Yeah, you are my God, my Savior, my everything. Jehovah Shalom, my perfect peace, your love and grace will never cease. The rock of ages, my hiding place, Redeemer King, full of grace. Lamb of God, who bore my shame, Yeshua, the matchless name. Lion of Judah, strong and bold, Ancient of days, whose truth is told. You are my God, forever the same, forever the same. Mighty and holy, I bless your name. Omega, beginning and end. You are my God, my Savior, my everything. Abba, Father, lift you high. Holy Spirit, be ever nigh. Counselor, Comforter, guiding light. Your presence turns death to life. You are my God, you are my God, forever the same, forever the same. Mighty and holy, I exalt your name. Alpha, Omega, beginning and end. God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, my everything.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. How are we all doing? Let me tell you about my day, or my 24 hours, 48 hours My mother called me. She wasn't feeling too well for a few days. And we thought it was something like food poisoning. We thought it was, not something very serious. About 5 o'clock yesterday evening, I called her. She picked it up and she said she had vomited, not to be so gross. Let's just say vomit that seemed like blood. So I jumped in my car and I raced up there calling as many medical professionals on my call list as possible, trying to get an understanding and idea of what was really going on. When I got there, she was in bed, exhausted, still not very well, looking very pale. In the morning, she woke up very early, still in pain. I called the doctors called the ambulance, and luckily for me and my family, managed to get her to the hospital on time. And amongst other things, she needed blood. So that's a crazy story. My heart always went out to people who had lost a parent or had lost both parents. So I understand that kind of loss. I mean, I lost my father when I was fairly young anyway, so I've missed that relationship. So that's my story, and that's kind of a traumatic situation that I faced over the weekend. Sorry, not over the weekend, over the last 48 hours. And I want to thank God because I was praying all the way to my mother's house, and it was a tremendously difficult multiple hour journey. I was praying all the way and I was asking God, to do something miraculous. And I can assure you absolutely wholeheartedly that He did. God answered my prayer and He saved my mum, my mother. So thank you to God. Just got back after going to hospital and talking to doctors and nurses. It's a long story, and I'm just shortening it tremendously, just so you guys get an understanding. Walking into a house expecting your parent to be alive is one of the most horrific experiences somebody can endure, and I must admit, because my mother does live by herself, it is pretty much something that's turned into a phobia of mine. But my mother does rely on me tremendously, and yeah, that's what happened. I managed to get her to the hospital, and when the doctors examined her, amongst other things, and they are multiple things, I'll just tell you one of them. She was low in blood. Hemoglobin was tremendously low. So we were able to get her the blood that she needed. So I'm back. I'm back in hospital to visit her tomorrow and most likely Sunday, and however long it takes. But it was quite an ordeal. Just thought share that with you. On the other hand, Mr. Schaffer over in USA has stated, if you don't know who he is, he's a big political person. He's warned that the Trump administration has been compromised. Let's have a look at that post. He states, Alex Jones in his X post, Elijah Schaffer warns the Trump administration is compromised, and now they have turned their guns back on us. Alex Jones calls on putting major pressure on the president to course correct before it's too late. Well, fuck you, Alex Jones. Because Alex Jones was bending over and promoting Donald Trump. Now, don't get me wrong, I did as well in his first election and the second. But there are issues that are emerging. But before I continue, we might even have a VIP in the house. Let's see if it's the VIP. All right, Jukes, how's it going?
Yeah, I just thought I'd come over and check on you. I thought, let me see what Managed Stream's about tonight. And you're quite sorrowful. And I was like, oh, God. So I hope your mum gets better.
Well, thank you very much. And yeah, it's been quite an ordeal. And like I was saying, most of it is just a trauma of the expectation or expecting the worst, and especially when you get those type of calls. And but I just think it's very important to share these type of experiences because people can learn from them, and people also realize that when they're going through something like this, that they're not the only one that have gone through this, and other people have, and other people will, and other people are. So that's why I kind of share these type of things. It's not very easy for me to actually put into words these type of things. It's kind of I feel self-restricted. That's probably the bloke in me. You probably understand, Jews, but men are not very good at kind of discussing these things. But I do try to push myself because otherwise, if I don't share them, then other people are not going to be able to relate. And if I consider myself, a lot of the times when I've grown,
Hold on, Manny, sorry. Can you get the door for me, babe? Yeah, go on. Sorry, I was listening, but there's a knock at the door as well at the same time.
That's okay. I was just saying that every time I've grown, or a lot of the time I've grown, or came to new realization, it's partly due to people sharing their experiences. So if I've benefited from somebody doing that, then it's kind of the onus is on me to do the same. So that's why I started off with that rather somber story.
Yeah. I suppose I've become cynical to sharing things like that on YouTube. There's many things in my life as well, that I would never actually share on here. I don't think this is necessarily the place that actually people want to genuinely understand in a lot of cases.
Yeah, I agree, and obviously I know a little bit about your story, Dupes, and I suppose it's worth saying publicly that it's a very sorry state of affairs when someone like you that actually does give a fair bit to the online community doesn't always get the relative support. But you do get good support as well, don't get me wrong. I mean, your numbers speak for them. For themselves, but at the same time, you also get the negative side of it. But you wouldn't be dupes if it wasn't for the people that were attacking you anyway. So I suppose that is a silver lining. So the more accurate you become, the more attacks you need to kind of take on.
I do agree with that. Yeah, I must appreciate the haters for elevating me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. How's it? I don't get the same time as I used to, so I don't always get time to come over and listen to your channel. I sometimes try to flick through your videos and have a bit of a catch up, but that's getting less and less frequent. And that's got nothing to do with you or your entertainment or anything. It's more to my lifestyle and my business. How's it going with your channel? Because you hit good numbers day in, day out.
Yeah, it's the same.
Did I see a video of you going to some demonstration recently outside a court?
No, you would have seen me at the UTK was the last one I went to.
Oh, I see. I thought yesterday or the day before there was a video or some kind of demonstration outside the court, and you.
Oh yeah, I was showing outside City Hall. Pink ladies were there. Well, not the pink ladies, because there's many pink lady groups now, but one of the pink lady groups, yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh, fair enough.
Was outside there, and there was a bit of an argument because Susan Hall had invited them inside, because I think Sadiq Khan was being questioned over policing and stuff like that, and the security guards wouldn't let him in.
Gosh. Well, there's a surprise with Sadiq Khan, isn't it? What do you think? So, look, I'm a bit out of touch with London because I've moved out and I don't go back in as often.
I know, you're lucky. You're one of the gentry now, aren't you?
So, what's the crack with London, Dupes? You're very much a Londoner, and so what's the crack? Is there any chance of getting Sadiq Khan out?
To be honest, I'm beginning to think that all the elections are rigged. So probably not, unless the overlords decide that they no longer have a use for him. I can't understand how he got in the last time that he had a proper vote for his position. But he did. He got in. But I think that there is a concerted effort by politicians, not anyone in specifics, but just you can see the combined mindsets that he is under attack because of the grooming gangs in London that he kind of denies that we all know is in existence. So, you know, that they are trying to get him that way.
So what is the crack with those grooming gangs? Are we talking about the same level of grooming, raping, abusing and attacking non-Muslim girls, i.e. white girls, that we have seen in northern or you know the other parts of the UK? I mean, what are we talking here?
I do think that because London, it's a bit more nuanced in London, there probably will be some white people involved. But the Express done a big sort of like piece on it, and yeah, it is predominantly Pakistani still, predominantly Muslim. But yeah, there is more involvement from other ethnicities as well. But they're now looking at 9,000 cases. They're re-looking at them again. So if you think 9,000 cases, each has got a grooming gang, we're talking about big numbers again, aren't we?
And do you have faith that they will kind of do a honest overview of it?
No.
Well, that's scary in itself, isn't it? If you think about it. I mean, what needs to happen in order
we need a whole new set of politicians, a whole new set of policies. Some policies are already in existence, but we need them enforced, and we need a major change. Look, there is a pushback going on, very severe pushback in this country, and I think we are heading in the right direction. But
do you still have faith in democracy?
Not as it is, because I think it's been corrupted.
So what's the solution? How do we uncorrupt it? Can it be uncorrupted?
If something's corruptible, it's always going to be corruptible if you don't stop the loopholes, you know. And if the loopholes are there, they're going to be corruption. Look, there's always going to be corruption in this world because human beings are not perfect. Let's put it that way. You know, but I wouldn't want to go down the road of start having robots in power either. So where do we go? I don't know. Banksy's here. Don't you want to let him up?
Banksy, come on. I mean, everyone's got the StreamYard on their, you know, it's pinned at the top. So if he wants to come on and chat his normal shit, he's more than welcome to do so. But he hasn't got the bollocks to come on anymore because he's been put in his place. Banksy, have you been put in your place?
I haven't seen Banksy for a while either. You know.
You've never seen a small cock?
No, I haven't seen him for a while either on panels because he's gone off in his own sort of direction as well. There's a lot of people that have gone off in their own directions that don't see each other as much anymore, isn't it?
First of all, little Indian man. I not only have the bollocks. I'm just come up here and then you get butthurt and you throw me off. So I'm not here to entertain a thin-skinned little man from the Asia Pacific, from the dark continent, from the Indian subcontinent. Here.
The only outfit that could have made you last this long on the man who's in the paddle is the one that you're wearing, and you did it on purpose because you know I've sent you DM saying that is a hilarious persona that you put on, and here you are.
Actually, I was doing this for another show. I just happened to be still in costume, and so here we are. I hope you're entertained.
What do you think of your Islamic brothers forming a London grooming gang in London and doing what all the other grooming gangs do?
Well, first of all, as we all know, Islam does not have grooming gangs of any sort, as Mr. Sadiq Khan himself has put it. What do you mean by grooming, sir? All I know is a bunch of Muslim men, pious men, who marry women according to the Sharia.
Did you see
and the example of the Prophet? Sorry?
Did you see that Benningfield character? Apparently he's supposed to have been involved in the grooming gangs as well. Did you know that? You know that Levi Benningfield?
Levi Benningfield?
Millie Dowers' murderer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's an art in the Express. They did it. There's a video of that as well. It's really interesting to watch.
I'm telling you, I've been saying it for years. And I think you three are clued up. This grooming business, this whole industry it goes all the way to the top. It goes all the way to the president's royalty, as we know, and it goes all the way to every politician. I think every politician that is currently and previously served has always has at least had one type of Epstein Island style visit. These people only get to these positions only because they have the powers that be have something on them. And you cannot become the leader of a party or become any sort of key figure in politics in Britain or in Europe or in America unless these powers have something on you. I just don't think you'll ever elevate to that level. They just won't let you be, at that stage. They'll literally shoot you. And I think Trump is by far possibly an exception, not in the sense that he's pious and all that, sugar and spice and all things nice. It's just that they have less on him than they did on Clinton and Bush and Biden and all the rest of them. So that's all it is. It's just the degree in which they can hold him to to kneel. I think Farage is bought and sold. I think Farage is going to take the knee the minute he gets into any kind of position of power. He will not be. He might be slightly better than Starmer. But, I mean, Starmer is so god-awful that, to be honest with you, I could literally pick any moron off the streets right now and he'll be better representative of Britain than Starmer. So, I mean, that's not really much of a bar.
I'm hearing that Shabana, isn't it? Sorry. Mahmood, she's going to be bringing in Denmark-style immigration policies. Well,
Nonsense.
Number one, I just think it's a fad. I don't trust anything that they say. But number two, I bet she isn't because Denmark are pretty strict, aren't they? Like if you're an illegal immigrant, you go into their country, claiming you're an asylum seeker, they take all your money off you, whatever you've got on you.
Yeah, and they send you to Rwanda. They actually do send people to Rwanda in Denmark, unlike Britain. That's why the Rwanda plan was an emulation of the Denmark plan. That's because the Conservatives figured, well, if Denmark can get away with it and they're in the EU, then surely, since we're even out of the EU, we can do it. But they didn't realize how captured the political and the judicial system of this country is by the Islamists, by the leftists. So when they attempted it, these people just took them to court day after day, and the Labour Party literally funded all of those court cases, all of these human rights lawyers, which are most of them Labour adjacent, and judges who are also Labour adjacent. I mean, they just refused the appeal case for the Bell Hotel in Epping. Yeah, so that means the Bell Hotel continues to stay open. So the safety of the people of Epping is not a priority for the courts of Epping, for the courts of this country. It is the hotel. It's not really the hotel. It's what the hotel represents. The fact is that if they ban Epping Hotel from being an asylum hotel, this will cascade into a plethora of other hotels across the country that the government will be absolutely screwed. They have nowhere to put these people. And if they try to put them in some sort of a barracks or camps, army-style camps, or the Guantanamo, the alligator
That's what they
Alcatraz.
should be doing.
Yeah, but if they tried, there'll be literally 100 human rights lawyer, with Sadiq Khan probably one of them, lining up to sue the
Yeah.
government. So the government can't do it. The government is screwed. They're caught in a rock and a hard place. They can't allow these hotels to be shut because they don't have anywhere to put these people. And if they try to put them in a harsher location, look at that. Look at that. Now there's a Bollywood man for you, right there.
Oh,
straight.
you are naughty. That's naughty.
I'm sorry,
Did you
I'm-
see as well that they've given £19 million to Pakistan to sort out their child sexual exploitation? Meanwhile, we've got all this going on here. It's jokes.
I posted a video on X recently. There is a 130 million pound British taxpayer money that has gone to, I forgot where, Rwanda or some Central African country, in order to build a road for their net zero plans,
Oh God.
for their environmental. It's on my X. I'll try and find it and send it to you. I posted it because it was for the Daily Telegram, by the way. I think it's the Telegram, or it's one of the major newspapers that are doing this investigation. That British government, and then I wrote, this is why they have a $200 billion pound, £20 billion black hole, because they're sending money to African nations to build roads for their net zero plans. It's like, no, it's insane shit. Insane. And by the way, you notice out of all the talks of, oh, they're going to raise income tax, suddenly, magically, they found the money not to raise income tax. Because they knew that's going to destroy them in the elections. I mean, they're going to get destroyed in the elections. It's just, there's going to be another nail in their coffin.
Well, they reckon he's out soon, didn't they?
Who's that?
Well, they reckon Starmer's going to go soon.
Oh, well, I think Starmer, there's a chance they'll replace him closer to the next election. They won't replace him now because they want him to take. He's like a crap shield. You know what I mean? They put him at the front. He takes all the crap, and then once he's caked in it, they'll drop him just before the new before the election cycle, and then they'll go, "Oh, look, we have a nice, shiny, clean prime minister. Look how clean and shiny this one is. He doesn't have any shit on him because the last one took all the shit."
The problem is we've got the same situation that we had when people wanted Boris out, and then you got, Truss, and then they got Truss out, and then they put all that's going to happen is we're going to have a revolving door still. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
yeah. And so even if Farage wins, I'm not really holding my breath for any really miraculous results. Farage, as I've been saying it all along. I've said it to the Americans. You elect Trump or you elect Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris will run you to the ultimate goal that the globalists want. Trump will walk you to that goal. In Britain, exactly the same. You elect Farage. Farage will walk you to that goal, or you re-elect Labour, and they'll sprint you to that globalist goal. But you're all going to that one goal. Everybody's headed in one direction. You're not changing the course. You're just changing the speed in which you're headed towards this whatever utopian, nightmare, hellish, dystopian future that they've got in place for us. I mean, when they say you own nothing and you'll be happy, I tend to believe them. Exactly the same as when a jihadi says, I'm doing this for the cause of Allah. I believe these people. Why is it we're so retarded that we don't believe when they tell us this is what they want to do? It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So what do you think's the answer, Banksy? There isn't one, is there?
No, there's a massive shift in culture and policies within. I mean, we have to have a massive clear out of every politician in Westminster right now. I mean, literally every one of them. There has to be a party that will put up candidates for every politician within Westminster. None of them are fit to be there. Anyone who is currently a politician will not be re-elected. That's how it's supposed. That's how it should be. I would say at least a 200 to 300 politician shift. If you get brand new, never been a politician before, first-time politicians to go in, then we have to have a resolution or some sort of constitutional or legal paperwork in place. There is term limits to how many times you can actually run for office. As far as your candidacy is concerned, there's just like the American presidency. You can't be a politician for more than 2 or 3 terms, whatever that is. That way, every 2 or 3 cycles, you get a massive recycling. Now, don't get me wrong. The powers that be will corrupt that eventually. Sorry?
What difference will that make?
Well, first of all, these people don't have jobs for life. Second of all, if anyone who's buying them, they know they can only buy them for the next 2 or 3 political cycles. They'll have to start canvassing. They'll have to start buying other potential politicians, essentially, and that gives the people an opportunity to change.
Let me give you an example of how that is not necessarily the right step forward. I'll give you an example in the financial world. So somebody like HSBC will do some scandalous activity. Let's just take something that everybody's known about, which is PPI, Payment Protection Insurance. So they will conduct some level of fraud, and they would make, I don't know, let's pick a figure out of the air, say 400 billion by doing whatever activity that they should not have done. Along comes a regulator, they will slap a £300 million fine on them, and they will happily pay that because that's still so many billions in profit. Even if it's like a PPI scandal and they have to repay something back, it's okay because they already worked out long time ago that only 60% of the people are actually going to file an actual claim against them, and the rest of them are not even going to bother or never going to hear about it or won't even realize, right? And politics is exactly the same. So if you take somebody like George Soros, who has openly admitted influencing international and local politics, you think he's really bothered if a politician is going to come in for just a couple of terms rather than, a lifetime term? He's probably thinking, I'm glad a politician's only coming in for 2 terms because that's going to be less money spent on that dipstick in order to get certain legislation passed.
But no, don't get me wrong. It's not without corruption. I'm not saying that it would be without, but it will cycle things. You know what I mean? There'll be a opportunity to actually recycle all of those politicians out and then cycle in hopefully some new ones. And amongst that, you will hopefully get some good ones, and you're obviously going to get a massive bad ones. But that is just one element, one stage of this. The next stage to British society is actually the civil service. That has to be overhauled entirely. Everyone in there, the civil service on all levels is captured by the left. It is a captured organization.
Look, that's one of the better arguments that I've heard, I must admit, Banksy. But I feel that there's not a better solution, or there's not a better idea. I shouldn't say the word solution. There's not a better idea than the one that I've tried to project, and that is as follows. The only politician that anybody, whether it's left or right, middle, up, round, black, left, black, white, pink, orange, purple, blue, the only politician that anyone should vote for is as follows: that they say before they get elected that if they do not deliver on their election promises, then they will be open to being prosecuted criminally, civilly, whatever, and held accountable for not delivering those election promises. Furthermore, they will voluntarily forfeit any parliamentary privilege that is assigned to them once they have been elected. In other words, there's no way for them to do, for example, what Tony Blair did, stand in Parliament and say Saddam Hussein, a guy with the worst mustache in the world and the biggest beer belly in the world, has got weapons of mass destruction when he hadn't even headed a government to invent a hairdryer, let alone anything more mechanically sufficient. So I think if we stick with those two basic principles, i.e. that they are held accountable for pre-election promises, and then they are not allowed to lie to politicians or to the people standing in Parliament, I think we would take a good number of steps towards to where the country would need to be.
Yeah, but that's only the politicians. How about the civil service? How are you actually tackling their captured organizations?
I would have put it quite simply. If you get rid of lobbyists, you get rid of the core problem. It's the lobbyists and who they are linked to and who are funding them and who they are working for that creates these problems. If let's call lobbyists what they are. They are individuals that work for richer individuals or organizations that corrupt politicians. If lobbying is made illegal, then there's not. How is lobbying not even illegal? Just think about it. Like,
but what would you consider? You see, the thing is, this is the problem in a country with freedoms, and especially freedom of speech. What would you consider to be lobbying? If I have a YouTube channel that has 1 million subscribers, and I bring on Rishi Sunak to talk about, the coming election or whatever, am I lobbying or am I somehow advertising? I am essentially advertising Rishi Sunak. I'm bigging him up. I'm giving him airtime. But am I a lobbyist? Am I actually, this is the problem. This is why they can't stop the lobbying. Because if you have freedom if I have a freedom to say, I like you, Manny, as a politician, I want you to run as an MP for Slough, and I will give you the funds for you to run. Technically, I'm lobbying you. I'm actually buying you. But should I not be allowed to do that?
No, lobbying and funding are two different things.
Okay, but which is well, okay, then which where do you separate?
Lobbying is funding and requesting a return. Funding is basically funding what on the journey that a politician is already on.
I'm sorry. Am I not expecting a return if I invest, let's say, 100 grand in you? Of course, I'm expecting return from you. I am putting you in office.
The return is more significant. It's saying that I am giving you £100,000 as long as you go into Parliament and say, I am proposing this legislation to be made into an act of Parliament. That's lobbying. That's really hardcore lobbying. Okay. There's more minor lobbying where a charity would say, we think, dear politician, that cerebral palsy should be put onto a certain list. And that is also lobbying, but that is what lobbying was supposed to be originally, whereas lobbying has really become now where very rich organizations like weapons manufacturers pay the entire government board and say we should go to war and you should buy these £100,000 bombs that we drop to every minute.
Manny, if I'm funding your entire electoral campaign, it's a pro quo, whatever. I forgot the term. Got a cold. Yeah, but exactly. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. So it is essentially I'm buying a politician in that scenario.
Agreed. No, look, I agree that you're making valid points. So I would say ban all lobbying, and if you want to make a shout out and get anybody's attention, such as a politician, do what all of us do: make a YouTube video. Create some kind of signature and get genuine organic growth behind it. Don't just pay some corrupt politician to say, we'll give you this much money.
Manny, in reality, I'm just saying, I don't think in a free society you're going to really stop that unless you go authoritarian. If you want people to be free to spend their money as they will, to amplify their voice, as they will, based on whatever money they have. Elon Musk used his money to amplify his voice massively. If I had $100 billion, I'm sure everyone would hear what I have to say. I'm sure this stream would have 100 million viewers because I would literally buy an entire
I do
platform.
agree with Banksy, I'm afraid, on this one. And the reason being is that we do want a free society, and he's completely correct. It's not the fact that people actually want to shore up, fund, or even, get people that they've already got a good connection with, a network with, and use money to say to them, oh, can you get this through Parliament for me? Because our corporate business is going to benefit from a change in this legislation. They're not the real problem. Not for people that are working class and people at the bottom. They're not. I know that you don't understand that money because your level of means is probably a lot higher than mine and a lot higher than a lot of other working class. But that really is a rich person's worry. The problem that we've got at the working class is not only is it that there are people that are in poverty and everything else, but actually the cultural comforts that we used to have, that we were able to exercise freely to make our lives okay, and the understanding that we had of knowing that the majority of the country is never going to be rich, because just by the probability of it, only a certain amount can actually be rich and get themselves to the top, and because it takes motivation, dedication, or actually a talent or skill, right? We're realistic about that. It's the fact that the cultural norms that we once had are being sort of like ripped away from us. We're not allowed to speak out what we actually feel. We're not allowed to laugh at the things that we used to laugh to get us through life. The dark humor of the British is being told that it's wrong. The way we think, we're being told that it's wrong. But the celebrations and the traditions that we had is being ripped away from us. That is what's affecting us. And that is why you're seeing a popularity in people like Tommy Robinson. That is the real, and this because you've been around it long enough. And this is why more and more people are understand. Look, I watched today, right? I'll give you an example. There was a protest going on outside, I think it was Epping, but if it wasn't Epping, it was another one in central London. And on that day, there was just two auditors that were walking down the road. As a man, you probably heard the story, as a man entered into a woman's house. She comes out of the house, chases the bloke, whatnot. She gets arrested, yeah?
Oh, yeah, that was the Canary Wharf one. I wasn't there, but
right.
That one.
Right. Today in the news, McMurdoch, I think his name is, James McMurdoch or something like that. He's a politician. He had a delivery person that walked into his house, barged into his house, right? Now, all of a sudden, he wants to bring in laws, he wants to do this, he wants to do that. But when that young woman, who was actually looking after her blind mother in her own house, tried to defend herself, nobody was saying, actually, we do have the right for self-defense in our own house. Actually, in this country, it is a custom you don't walk into somebody's over the threshold of their front door, even if it's unlocked. Actually, the laws used to back up the people, and you're not allowed, just because the door is unlocked, to pull that handle down and walk in, because it's not a public space. It's different if it's a public building and you leave that door open, but it's not when it's a private dwelling. Instead of upholding those laws, they were all saying, oh, well, the door was open, the police can't enforce it, yada, yada, yada. Actually, you could, because we used to, yeah? But now, because the politicians been affected, I bet they'll start talking about the laws we once had again. You see, this is a problem.
The thing is, Jupiter, this has always been the case, by the way. Do you know why if you just look at the history of why the London sewage system was built, it wasn't built because politicians wanted to help the people. It was because so much crap was thrown in the Thames that they couldn't stand the stench of crap that was coming from the Thames, and it just happens that because House of Commons is right next to the Thames, it was flooding into the House of Commons. They commissioned Brunel, I believe, to build such an amazing sewage system that since it was built, I forgot, it was like 18 something or other, it's still not to capacity today, and London has like 12 million people in it. It was such an amazing project, but they only commissioned it because they couldn't stand the smell.
Yeah,
It
I
wasn't
believe
because
that
they
as
give a
well.
shit about the people. It was
Yeah.
their own interest. So if you want something done in this country that happens to have a byproduct that benefits the people, you have to make sure it benefits the politicians. If it doesn't benefit the politicians and only benefits the people, they'll never pass the law. They'll never make it happen. If it has a beneficial thing for the politician and the byproduct of that happens to help the people, you'll get it done. And this is why nothing was done about that guy who walked into that poor blind woman's house at Canary Wharf, because that was just the people. But the minute a politician was touched by, this is why, by the way, this is why I am so happy that they're putting hotels in Canary Wharf. I've said it before. I actually said it on one of my lives at Canary Wharf. I want these hotels to be at Canary Wharf. I want every hotel in Kensington and Knightsbridge to be migrant hotels, because I want the rich to be touched by this. I want those immigrants to be roaming around their streets, to be walking around late at night, groping their women, because once the rich and the powerful feel this issue, then they'll do something about it. But nothing will be done as long as the hotels are being held in poor areas like Epping and other working class environments. I want every one of these hotels to be in the richest. I want the hotel down the road from the House of Commons to be in a migrant hotel, so that these migrants lurk and roam around the Commons at night when these politicians come out to go to work, to go home. I want every one of them to have to worry and look over their shoulders when they're walking home or when they're walking to their car to see if one of these psychopaths is going to do something to them. Because if we don't get that, nothing will be done.
Yeah,
Nothing
I
will
agree
be
with you. Totally agree with you. And that's why we've got the massive disconnect, because you've got all these elites and everybody else that are in Parliament and everything else that just don't understand the realities down on the ground. They don't.
What do they need to understand?
Well, that we are at threat, that there are people the numbers coming into this country, that the crime levels have gone up, no matter what the stats are, that people do really feel afraid, that places where you could go and you could walk, you can't now. You haven't even, listen, they built loads and loads of high-rise flats around parks, saying, oh, yeah, well, you didn't need gardens, but you've got a parkland there that you're all going to be able to use. You know, children can play football, people can walk their dogs. In the summer, you can have picnics. You can't use them now, because in every town and city, there is immigrant centres, and they're in there. They're in there. They're loitering. It's not our culture to have men loitering around kids' playgrounds.
It's nobody's culture. Nobody. You think this is a Saudi culture? You think this is a Afghani culture? But the thing is, in those countries, they would literally beat the shit out of them. They would literally, there would be, some of them would get death sentences for touching kids. They don't tolerate these things. You see, what we're getting this insane scenario of European civilized culture coming into contact with Middle Eastern savage behavior. You see, I know in Europeans, they're all like huffing and puffing about, oh, why do women have to wear hijabs and they have to cover themselves and put on the niqabs? These are brutal acts of savagery. But do you know why that came about? Because the men are savages. If you didn't cover your women, these men would be all over your women. Your wives, your daughters, your aunties and your mothers would have to constantly be fighting these savages off with a stick. So
were Muslim men like this before Islam, or did Muslim men
always, they've just never been civilized.
How do you know that Muslim men were like this before Islam?
Before it, you know why? Because I have a letter from Yazgard III to the Caliph Omar bin Khattab talking about these savages raiding and raping the caravans that were, the camel caravans that traded in silver and spices, silk and spices and goods across the Arabian desert. They literally raided these things. These were Bedouin savages. I have letters of contemporary people who wrote about these savages, and these savages have passed on their cultural norms and behaviors to the countries that they occupied, that they essentially colonized later on.
I mean, when you think about it, they founded a whole religion around a thief.
Around a warlord and a thief and a womanizer. The fact is that they founded this entire culture around very barbaric 7th century things, and they haven't moved on. At least, I mean, I would say in the last maybe 30 years, the Emiratis and the Kuwaitis, the Emiratis, which are Kuwaitis, the Saudis, some Bahrainis, to some degree, the Qataris, they've slightly moved on because of the money. The money has given them sort of, but their savage punishment, their brutal punishment against crimes, there is a reason for it. It took generations of Europeans to not gawk and touch up women in miniskirts and bikinis. It took multiple generations to pacify men in order for them not to jump on the bones of a first, fleshy, half-naked woman that they see. These people are not from that culture. They haven't had those multiple generations of pacification. They haven't had those. They didn't have the world wars that the Europeans had.
Well, two points I'd like to make, Banksy, and you can probably elaborate on them, right? But the first one, as I understand it, that the whole reason that they cover up in the black gowns that they do if you're a pious Muslim woman is because something to do with hadiths that say that one of the wives was going to the toilet and could be seen late at night. So that shows you that it's because of their barbaric ways of looking at things that makes them have some of their traditions. Oh, I've forgotten what the second one is. So is that correct? Is that in the
No, there is a hadith. In fact, it was Omar, the father of Aisha, that mentioned it, because they were sitting around the campfire, and I forgot the name of the wife, one of Muhammad's apparently chubbier wife, as the hadith describes it. She's a bigger lady, and she just wandered off into the desert because obviously they had no toilets; they were all in tents. And she pulled up her hijab skirt and just took a dump. And Omar said, it's not good for your wives, people to know it is one of your wives. So he forced them niqab. They were wearing hijab type things already, but he kind of suggested they should cover their face so that no one can tell it is the Prophet's wife that's doing this. Of course, nobody ever suggested maybe we stick a couple of sticks and a curtain and dig a hole, and maybe they'll do it behind the curtain or some shit. No, they don't seem to have discovered those things at that time. But yeah, that was Omar who suggested.
Well, that's what I didn't understand. Why not just have a complete tent for dug over a hole,
like a lavatory?
Yeah. But the second thing is, and it does lead on to that. The fact is that these men come from a culture where they don't understand how to read body language and facial expressions. Right? We're a culture that do, and the reason being is because they do cover up so much and everything else. Now, that is also part of the reason they can't read when a woman is actually being polite and saying no, but trying to be friendly. They think that the minute you smile, the minute you're friendly, that's a okay, yeah, go on,
that's
touch, go ahead. Yeah.
But you got to realize again, those subtleties, the fact that a European person recognizes the subtleties of a woman just being friendly versus them being attracted, even for me, it's still hard to tell. But because I'm raised in Britain, because I know the British culture, I always take the side of caution that if a woman is just being friendly, she's just being friendly. I'm not going to assume she's sexually giving me any kind of signals unless they become a little bit more obvious. So I always take the side of, she's just friendly. I'm not going to grope her. I'm just going to, be polite and be a gentleman. But these things came through decades and generations of men recognizing what is courtship like. In the Middle East, you don't have courtship. You don't have boyfriend, girlfriends. You have marriages, the only time a courtship is from the time you go, you visit the parents. I'm going to give you the Iranian scenario. I don't know about Indians, Pakistanis, Arabs. The Iranian scenario is this. Your mother or father says to you, we know such and such daughter of such and such a parents who are good parents, honorable parents, and their daughter wants to get married. So I say, okay, let's go find out. So you go around the parents' house and you sit down and the daughter serves you tea. And that's the first time you get to see them. Maybe you'll have an interaction where you talk for a few minutes. And then you make a decision whether you wish to continue this. And then you'll probably go on a couple of more chaperoned dates or arrangements, which are chaperoned again. And then you make a decision, we're going to get married or not. And then when you get married, then you're left alone. That's the first time you're actually left alone. That is the steps and the traditions of the Iranian culture, of the old. I'm not saying the new. That's somewhat been changed a lot in the last 30, 40 years,
but
maybe even 100 years.
Banksy, that not only do I blame the woke because they kind of redefined what a man was, what a woman was, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. But also we have the complications of these people not being able to read nuance. For example, when you talk about the courtships that used to go on in Britain, okay, not so much now because the modern world and the woke have destroyed all that, but the courtships that used to happen, I've even heard people trying to align that with grooming, and they don't seem to understand the difference. If they can't understand the difference between that, then how the hell are we all supposed to live in the same place?
The thing with the grooming is an entirely different phenomenon. And that is because it is, I see it personally, it's my interpretation, so I'm just going to give you my opinion. This is a form of warfare. They consider themselves in the house of war, the Dar al-Harb, which is, as you guys know, there's Dar al-Islam, Dar al-Harb, the house of Islam and the house of war. Any Muslim who lives in non-Muslim countries is living in the house of war. The girls that are groomed are their war booties. They see them as their possessions of winning the war in their own little bubble against the Kafirs. And so the way they treat the women, in the way that they go about it, is this is how I would treat my war booty. She belongs to me. She is my war booty, and I will do with her as I will. Sell her, rent her out, and use her and abuse her the way I wish. I think that is the underlining mentality behind the grooming. Not to mention that these guys are essentially gangsters. They're drug dealers. They are pimps. And to be perfectly honest, I'm going to say it. I think these grooming gangs are pimping these girls for the higher upper echelons of British society. And this doesn't include just Muslims. This includes all levels of British society. Yep,
I'd agree with that. We're surrounded by them, paedophiles, perverts. Yeah.
By the way, it's not just the Muslims. I guarantee you that you'll find if you start to really look, turn over some dirty rocks, you're going to find Albanian gangs, you're going to find Romanian gangs, you're going to find all of these. I suspect there is a plethora of Eastern European and other types of criminal gangs that are involved in this, because I see that this is something that has a consumer base within Britain and within Europe. Child exploitation and child grooming and child pimping it has a consumer base in these countries, and I think that there is something seriously wrong in these nations, and these perverts have to be exposed. But unfortunately, if you just take Jimmy Savile and that guy, that rock star guy, what was his name? Something Star.
Ian Watkins. Oh, okay.
No, you know the one in you wanna be in my gang,
Gary Glitter.
Gary Glitter, that's it. Him, Rolf Harris, also Hugh Edwards. These people are there is some serious pervs in this nation. And I think there has to be some kind of purging that has to take place. But I don't think it will ever happen because these pervs are at the highest levels. and they're always going to manipulate the system to suit their needs.
Well, what happened to the castrating that they said earlier in the year they were going to do? That's all. They talked about it, didn't they? Oh, yeah, we've been castration in, and now it's all gone away.
I don't know who's castrating.
But they were
Castrating.
considering in the government bringing castrations in for paedophiles, yeah.
I'm not against it. I'm not against
No,
it at
I'd
all.
be for it as well.
Castration, I mean, chemical or just like a small guillotine. What are we
I
talking about
think
here?
they were talking about a chemical one.
Yeah, probably chemical would be a little bit more.
I wouldn't mind them being hanged if the
Oh dear
proof
God,
is absolute.
Manny, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are
Pedophiles,
you searching? What are you searching, Manny? You know, I just saw a bunch of pictures of people removing testes. Okay, I mean, was it dogs? Oh yeah, you're looking at dog castration. What is wrong with you? But yeah. No, I mean, I don't mind. But again, it goes back to my original thing. The Europeans are doing the worst of both things. They have liberal ideals about punishment, so they're very soft on punishment, but they've imported a bunch of people who are extremely backwards and savage, who only understand corporal punishment, the kind of punishment that they would receive in the Middle East.
Yeah, I agree.
And so these two things have now collided in Europe, and it is an insanity because you've got people who will not learn by the little tap on the hand, or that you're going to go to court. Most British, born citizens or British people who were, raised in British culture or European culture would shit themselves if they know they're about to go to court for whatever, this and that. I've been to court for traffic tickets and I've shat myself. And it's traffic tickets. I was appealing traffic tickets.
You see, the biggest major problem here that these liberals don't seem to understand, the ones that want to fight racism and everything else, and fighting racism is a good cause. I'm not saying it's not. I don't agree with racism. However, the biggest thing that they don't seem to understand is if they don't get to grips and sort out these cultural differences that are putting the majority of British people who are not part of this culture and don't partake in all this stuff first, right? That what they're going to end up with is a complete swing to somebody that will, and more than likely it'll end up with something more extreme that actually wants all people of colour out, all melanation out. Whereas at the moment, all people are saying is all we want out is the wrong uns. Get the wrong uns out, get the mindset out, reduce it, reduce the numbers so it's manageable, so it's not a threat to our society. And if they don't listen, that's their own fault.
The fact is, Jupiter, I said it, I don't know who I said it to. It was, I think it was a different panel I was on. The bottom line is we're doing a slow walk towards an edge of a cliff, and nobody wants to U-turn. And eventually you'll get to the edge of that cliff and you're going to go over. And then the psychopath will come and give people a solution. Right now, I swear to God, right now the British people are on that edge to, how do you think Hitlerites get elected? How do you think that happens? This is how it happens.
Yeah.
The march that we're on right now is how it happens. People will vote for Beelzebub, for Lucifer, to fix their lives, to do a U-turn on their society, because they don't want to lose their society. They don't want to lose their culture and the essence of who they are. So the British natives, I'm not talking about me or these other people who think they're English, I'm talking about the actual natives, hardcore Anglo-Saxons, are going to vote in some sort of either Christian nationalist or Christian ethno-nationalist in order to make this U-turn happen. That day will come. It may not come in our lifetimes. I don't think actually it will happen whilst we're alive. I think we're a bit long in the tooth for that. No, I don't think so. I think the next 20, 30 years, I don't really see it happening. I think this slow walk that we're making towards this cliff edge will befall on your children for sure, Jupiter. You've got young children.
I
you've
think
got older children.
because Matt Godwin is a statistician, right? He's a professor, and he's done a really good breakdown of the numbers. And like a few years ago, we had the likes of Ralph Massalamani going around saying 2061. Well, actually, they've worked it out. No, it's not going to be 2061. It's going to be 2063. and that's on the numbers that they've got, and that's what they're saying. By 2063, white people are going to be a majority, and I know it's not all about color, but it is about the culture. I don't want to live under some Arabic culture that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't.
Sorry, you said white people are going to be a minority, not majority.
Minority, sorry.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
2063. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what is going to bring people together? Is it atheism? Is it Christianity? Is it nationalism? What is
No,
going?
Jesus, 100%.
It's got to be Christianity. There's no two ways about it.
It's the only proven system that will push against Islamification and Islam.
How does it feel like, Banksy, that you would be one of the people that are kicked out?
It is what it is. I have to accept those lots as they come. I've already, my family and myself have already migrated from one country to get away from Islam. Whether I have to embrace Christianity or whether the Christians would allow some of us non-Christians to live alongside them. I'll be honest, my odds are pretty good. Christians have been far more tolerant of non-Christians in his yesteryears than certainly Islam. So my odds are still relatively good to still be a non-Christian within Christian Britain.
So thanks to people like you who didn't want to ban lobbying, I will be one of the lobbyists to get you the fuck out, Banksy.
You can make your case, sir. By all means, feel free.
While we're on religion, did you see the apostate prophet, right? I don't know if it's new and current or not, but Danny Roscoe was showing me on his show. The apostate prophet, who used to be a Muslim, became a Christian, has actually cheated on his wife, even though he's promoting himself as a real Christian. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know he's separated from his wife now, but yeah, it could be that. Yeah, it was.
Apparently, he went to Israel and cheated on her on holy ground.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, yeah, I don't put a lot of stake in
You sound surprised.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is,
look, I'm a realist, right? People cheat. I get it. People can cheat. It don't matter if you're a Christian. It happens to the best of people, etc., etc., etc. But for the life of me, I'm shocked that someone would go somewhere for some kind of holy pilgrimage or for all of the sanctity that these holy sites are supposed to give and everything else. Then go and cheat. No, he's admitted it on a live stream. I've shown it.
Yeah, because I heard he's separated from his wife. They're already separated.
He's admitted it. He wants, and what was more annoying is he wasn't even humble about it. He was taking the attitude that you can't criticize me, kind of thing. It's happened. And
but now you understand,
wow.
Dupes. Now you understand when I have said in the past that an ex-Muslim is not really an ex-Muslim because all they do is remove Allah as their leader. They're still a degenerate. They're still a degenerate. They're just a degenerate without Allah. Take Banksy, for example.
Hey, I wear my degeneracy on my sleeve. I'm not claiming to be a pious Christian Jesus lover of any sort. I live within my atheistic worldview, and I'm okay about it.
But you know what I think the problem is with you, Banksy? I think you went against religion because you blame kind of religion for what the Muslims did in your home country. I don't think you realise that actually that there is something to faith, and it will hit you.
Look, Jupes, I agree with you. I think maybe there is something missing. Maybe there's a bug in me that rejects all of these religions. But the bottom line is, you see, the reason, and I'm not saying I'm not open to it. I have literally sat at 2 a.m. on a beach in Spain. I'm going to reveal something a little bit personal. I sat on a beach with the beautiful moon, full moon, stars, gorgeous waves rolling in. I think it was 12:01 in the morning. I felt this would be, if a moment God's going to give me a sign, this is the moment. All alone, rolling waves, gorgeous Spanish beach. And I said, God, if I'm to believe in you, give me something. Give me a sign. Give me something. I got nothing. And I have done that multiple times, by the way, because I've been on lots of beaches. Also, I go in the Philippines too. No, I got nothing from it. I got no sense of spirituality.
Because you really deeply need to, this is the difference, right? When you think that everything's good, Jesus is suddenly going to come and appear. No. Do you know when you're more likely to find faith? When everything's rock bottom and all the odds are stacked against you.
Maybe.
And then you'll see a miracle.
Maybe. I mean, I know my one of my cousins, when he was captured by the Iraqis during the Iraq-Iran war, he came back once he was released as a prisoner of war. He came back extremely religious because he said that was the one thing that kept me alive. I mean, I swear, he came back. You could see the spinal columns on his back. He was so thin. He'd been beaten and starved pretty much the whole time. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've never been that low in my life, but that was a pretty low moment, I would imagine. So for him, yeah, he said my faith kept me. But of course, he was a Muslim, so he became even more Muslim. But I have never experienced a spiritual moment, a moment in which I go, yep, that's the one. Now, other Christians tell me they've had that moment, and I don't dispute their experience, but it's their experience. I can't, go off that. I can only go off my experience. I've never had an experience where I felt there was a greater being in charge of this universe than just the universe itself. There was no mind, there was no consciousness to the universe. I have never experienced any of that, so I can't simply bullshit myself into faith. I have to have something that.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. You shouldn't fake it. But what I would say is that I don't believe it's a superior being, but it is a superior consciousness. I'm glad you used that word.
Yeah, a superior, a mind, a consciousness in within the universe. I an external consciousness to us, something beyond us as mortal humans. I've never experienced such a thing. I've never experienced that awe moment of, so I just can't bullshit myself. And I don't want to bullshit anyone else. As much as the idea, don't get me wrong, the idea of God is really cool. I think it would be lovely if there was. I mean, I have a whole bunch of questions about a lot of messed up shit that's going on this planet that he just simply allows and just turns a blind eye to. But the fact is that, yes, it would be nice to have this all-watching father, all-watching loving figure that Christianity sort of professes, that is there for you and would die for you, which, according to Christian doctrine, did. Jesus came as God, as God-man, and died for us. He would literally give his life for us. I mean, you can't have a better protector than that.
His life, he gave his son's life.
Well, I mean, if you actually understand the triune, you realize it was actually God in man form that gave his life for us.
But not completely, was it?
Yeah. But what I mean is, as the God man, that was Jesus, because Jesus wasn't just a son; he was God personified as man. And so, as God, as man, died for us as a human being.
So anyway, when you were sat on that beach, nothing at all happened.
No, nothing happened. Nothing. It was nothing washed over me. There was no one there. I didn't expect to have like some kind of evidence. I wasn't like sitting there with a camera recording the moment. No, I expected it. I just figured if God is going to give me any kind of revelation.
So I'm going to put it to you that something did happen. The very fact that you sat on a beach and spoke out loud to God tells me you believe of the existence.
No, I don't. I don't believe it. I was wishful. I was wishing for it a long time ago, and nothing came of it. It was a wish. It wasn't a belief. It's just like I was wishing for Tinkerbell. I was wishing for Peter Pan to show up. It wasn't. No. It was just a wish.
You saw the beauty of the world and said, "Okay, would be a perfect moment." What if I say to you that what you were looking at was God? It was perfect.
It's not.
See?
It's not really that convincing, unfortunately. I just see nature for what it is. It's nature. It was beautiful, gorgeous. The nights when I was in the Philippines. I mean, if anyone were to believe in a God, that it would be there. The beach, the sky, the moon at night just looks unbelievable. I mean, I can totally understand why people who go around the world and see great, waterfalls and things get these God sort of experiences, because nature is awesome. absolutely
yeah, nature is
unbelievably
awesome.
gorgeous, but it wasn't extraordinary. It wasn't supernatural. It was just simply the natural world. It's beautiful, but the same as looking at a baby is beautiful. I don't get a godly feeling when I look at a baby. I just see a gorgeous baby, and that's not what I was expecting. I mean, I don't know. Maybe God did do some. Maybe God has been there the whole time in my life, because I'll be perfectly honest with you. There are many moments in my life where life could have become terrible, and things could have gone terrible. I could have been in the front lines of the Iran-Iraq war if there was a slight twist of fate. Sorry, and yet I was lucky enough to have an amazing mother who managed to take me out of that god awful place and raise me in a pretty good life in Europe and in Britain. And Britain was an amazing country that gave me that life and gave us those opportunities. So maybe God's been along with me the whole time, and I'm too ignorant.
Frankie, you yourself have seen a miracle. You know yourself that when Hatton was attacked in that park and the knife hit the umbrella,
Yeah.
you know that was a miracle.
Well, you see, that's the thing. From a as rare as it is, from an atheistic perspective, it's just simply a bit of luck. I can't see that as a godly thing. But from a Muslim perspective, this is why I keep saying Muslims should have an existential crisis when it comes to Hatun, is that if Allah truly hates Hatun, and she has mocked Allah in so many ways, and she's encouraged others to move away from Allah. I mean, she is, without any shadow of a doubt, an absolute enemy of Allah. And yet Allah saved her? If you're a Muslim and you believe in Allah, you can't deny that Allah saved her from that from that assassin's knife. You're going to have issues. You're going to have major problems squaring that circle.
I think so.
Because, Allah, essentially, if you're a Muslim, saved Hatun's life from what would have, if not have
Jesus.
killed her.
She believes Jesus.
Well, she believes obviously Jesus saved her, but what I mean is from a Muslim perspective, that is an existential crisis. That is a crisis of faith immediately. But Muslims, if you notice, this is why I've been saying, if Jesus came on earth tomorrow, I guarantee you there'll still be Muslims. There'll still be Hindus. Nobody will change their mind. Even if he came down, did everything he did in the Bible, Revelations, all that shit, there'll still be Muslims, because people will simply ignore it. They are so invested in their own shit. They will not even accept something that is blatant in their face. So I'm telling you, I hold to this. If tomorrow Jesus suddenly ascends and there's revelations and all the dragons and all the fire and brimstone of Revelations comes to pass, there'll still be Muslims.
But do you know why that is? Because it states that these people are not supposed to hear the truth, and they're not really supposed to understand the message, and that's why. So these people are supposed to be lost, and that's the balance of it. Not everybody gets saved, and that's kind of perfectly true, right? Because not everybody is supposed to be or is clearly at a certain level to kind of be good, because they choose.
Yeah, it's true, because Jesus said, "Let those who have ears hear." Yeah, so
Maybe.
in other words, the message is not for everyone. Only those that have their ears to hear.
And that's kind of cold, and it's in some ways, but also it's so true that you got to kind of listen to it and accept it, and you understand it as well, because we see it all around us. That take Banksy for example. he can give all these one-directional speeches with all the entertainment he wants, but at the end of the day, nobody truly believes that he is completely kind of, has all the jigsaw pieces together, right? Whereas if you hear somebody like Bob Speaker's Corner, he's got all his pieces and he's ready to go.
How do you mean? What pieces?
I'm talking kind of figuratively. I'm not talking literally. I mean, if you
Oh no,
take
and I understand,
I
but what I
don't
mean
think
is,
Bob Speaker's Corner would have all the answers. No man's got all the answers, have they?
no, I never said, but I'm just saying that there's no grey areas with Bob Speaker's Corner.
Oh, with
You
his faith, yeah.
okay. I mean, but the thing is, that is essentially the key component of being an atheist or sort of logical, rational thinker, is that you know that you don't know so much. The whole point is that you know that you're ignorant of these things. It is, for me, an indictment of these people of faith who think that they know, or who profess that they know things that we know that they don't know, but they pretend that they know. They confess that they know these things, but they don't actually know. They just simply believe it.
Whereas Jesus said, "Ask and it is given." So if you do want to be intelligent and you do want to know the secrets, you then follow the protocol of asking, and then it will be delivered. That's the difference.
But Bob, I don't know whether Bob's asked, but no, Bob has not delivered. He doesn't know. Dude, you all have to eventually fall back on essentially what is, in a religious term, I don't know, which you guys use as I just believe. It's my faith. You fall back on your faith,
First
which
and,
is the religious word for I don't know.
first and foremost, Jesus never preached any religion. In fact, he cursed religious people. So I don't know where this thing about religion comes from. You would have to ask Bob if he believes that Jesus preached a religion. I can tell you categorically, from my point of view, Jesus not once ever preached a religion. He was very anti-religion. And this whole thing about just believe, again, I'm not. It's one of those things that atheists kind of use in their weaponry for debates and stuff. But I can tell you from my understanding that every single real true believer has had a individual custom experience and has a ongoing relationship with God. That's like no different to having a relationship with anybody else. And for an atheist, that might be very, very difficult and understandably uneasy thing to understand and accept. But I'm just telling you from the point of view that if you have had a spiritual experience, i.e., a kind of unexplained experience that's so real, but yet it can only lead to one thing, then you understand. If you've been unfortunate never to have that experience, understandably, you're going to be, well, that's not completely true, or this can't be completely true. I know that because I've been in that position, and I've held those views. I've been an atheist, and I've critiqued, and I didn't expect, and I didn't ask for the experiences I had, but at the same time I couldn't ignore them either.
Yeah. What I would ask you, Banksy, is this, right? If you believe in science and everything else, and everything's just down to luck, then what is the scientific explanation that some people are luckier than others?
I mean, it's not luck. I mean, the thing is, there are coincidences, there are probabilities. When you say luck, some people are
but what
luckier
is the
than others.
probability of somebody having consistent good things happening to them compared to somebody having bad things happening to them? Yet we know that there are people out there that are perpetually lucky and other people that are perpetually unlucky. But I would argue that that would be down to life choices, how they conduct their life, and that there is a correlation between, if you like, as in our country, as a lot of our morals are founded on our Christianity, and therefore it is an indirect connection to faith. Because if you're adhering to what you think is morally good, you're more likely to stay out of bad judgment, bad errors, etc., etc. So I would argue that actually faith is a much bigger part of even the most cultural of Christians' lives than they think it is.
I mean, to say, this person is just more lucky than another, I think that is it's a very tenuous claim. Because some people, I mean, I'll give you an example. Would you say that Robin Williams was inarguably more successful and luckier in life than I was? He was a
Yeah.
multi-millionaire,
Yes, completely.
world famous comedian, and yet he killed himself because of depression. I don't see him being luckier than me. I'm still here, and I don't have depression. And I don't see Robin Williams being luckier than me. He was successful as a comedian. He was an extremely talented person. I loved everything that he'd been in. 99%. Great actor, great comedian. Just all round, just seemed amazing. And yet, the man was hurting on the inside. He was hurting in a way that I guarantee you he wouldn't call himself lucky in those final days.
But let's turn that around. So what price would he have paid in order not to have your life? Right. So if he was to turn around and answer that question, I would rather die than sit with a tea cozy on my head. Talking
But what I'm trying to establish is that
that answer the question, doesn't it?
no. What I'm trying to establish is that it's all a matter of perspective, right? That man who you saw as on the outside as an incredibly lucky man and man who's achieved things that most people could dream of in their lives was not happy. Was extremely unhappy, and to the extent in which he took his own life. So what I'm saying is that what you perceive as this person is luckier than this other person, you may find that with investigation and digging a little deeper, that actually this poor man is actually living a happier life than this rich man. They say
Yeah, but what
more
you're
money, more
saying-
problems.
I get what you're saying, right? But that's not actually a real answer to what I'm saying, because you're saying that the reason when I say that Christians will see miracles or realize it's because of their faith, or because they're actually adhering to protocols, you would say no, it's down to good luck and bad luck, right? And I'm saying to you, then how does that weigh up? And scientifically, how can they prove that that's true versus that it's somebody? Whereas I can show you a clear distinction between people that actually adhere to the morals or tenets of Christianity. In most cases, not all cases exclusively, but in predominantly most cases, will end up having a productive life and having an inner strength that no matter what adversity that they go through, that they manage to survive and actually still not kill themselves, not end up with depression, etc., etc. Whereas, you try to ask us to value Robbie Williams between your life and his life. I would say both of you have not really got that inner contentment that you would get through faith.
What I was trying to express is that just an example of someone who you would perceive to be lucky. The fact is that when it comes to scientifically, obviously things like luck are not a scientific concept, so you can't really, there is no measurement for luck. But what you can do is you can say, like you just made a claim, that Christians are more happy and more content. Well, you can actually measure that amongst Christians versus Hindus versus Buddhists versus Muslims. And I'm sure there must be figures out there which
I wonder what would come out on top.
happier.
It's interesting.
But what I mean is, if the Buddhists come out happier, would it mean that they'll drop Christianity and move to Buddhism? Because Buddhists
This is
come
not
out
relevant.
better.
This is not a relevant question on the basis that with difficulty and with turbulation is when you grow and when you become a better person and you become stronger. So I don't think that necessarily that we can say that luck is always a result of a spiritual advantage. I really don't think that. I think it's a lot more complicated than that. I would say that knowing the protocol of how to pray to God and his preferred prerequisites is definitely a way of having your prayer answered. And I would even go further and say, when I follow that protocol, that sure has worked for me. Not every single time, but a lot of the time.
Again, that's kind of anecdotal. I'll be honest. As I said, anecdotal experiences are not worth the paper they're written on, because they're just anecdotal. They're not really evidence of anything. It's just like I feel better because I don't know. I put my middle finger in my anus once a month, and that makes me
Oh,
feel
God.
better. But you have to then go ahead and scientifically prove that if actually everyone stuck a finger in their anus once a month, would that actually conclusively show that? I mean, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous things. You can say I feel this X because I do X, but you have to then go ahead and take out, do an actual scientific experiment
Yeah, you got
on a much wider population
Yeah, so
to see if
every
this is
time-
an actual thing.
Yeah, but every time I see somebody who's in need, if I do a prayer, then yeah, it makes me feel better on different levels, and sometimes it makes me even feel even better if I go to them and say, "Is it anything that I can do?" Sometimes, it's no different to you see somebody, asking for money on the street, and something comes upon you, and you want to give them money or you want to buy them something, but that's the thing that you either have a relationship with God, that kind of you accept that guidance or you don't. I would rather answer that guidance than be so, how can I say, hardened of heart and kind of so obstructive and so arrogant to say, well, I'm not going to give that guy any money, or I'm not going to buy him anything. Just because he might be a scam artist. There's been times I've seen somebody begging outside a shop like a Tesco's or something, and go to him. I remember one time, I'll tell you a true story. There was a chap outside a Tesco local. I said, "Oh, mate, do you want something to eat?" He said, "Yeah, I do." I said, "All right, what would you like? A £3 meal deal?" He said, "Nah, I've had that so many times. It tastes horrible." And I was like, "Wow, okay, well, people must buy that for you a lot." I said, "What would you like?" And he said, "Something to cook, like mince lamb." And he gave me all this list. And by the end of it, to cut a long story short, he was asking me for washing powder for his clothes, and
There you go. He
even-
basically wanted you to do a whole day.
he even ran into the shop after me at one point, saying, "No, I'll have chicken instead of lamb." Then he changed it again. But the point is like, normally I would be too busy and be in my own world to even give this guy a second thought. And I remember at the time, my focus being drawn to him, and it was so out of character for me. And if you hang around with me on a day-to-day basis, I'm very much focused on not just a task that I've done, but what tasks I'm going to do and what I'm planning for. And I remember initially, like, me being led in, ask this guy what he wants, and I answered that protocol, and before I knew it, I got him 2 bags of shopping of, I don't know, it was 40 quid or something. I can't remember, to be honest. And I gave it to him. But the best reward was the way he actually thanked me. Was like, "Wow, you dude!" Like, it was almost like he was saying I was being a complete a-hole, and you kind of got everything anyway. But for me, I was like, I asked him, "What do you want?" And he answered. So what type of person would I have been if I didn't kind of do that? But I was happy to do that because, like I said, like, the feel-good factor from that was amazing. But I do feel even that initial, that particular experience, I was guided to it.
You do know that has nothing to do with Jesus.
So in the back, I've given you proof that scientists say that religious people of faith are actually more content.
Yeah, I saw the
And you
link.
believe it, and you believe in science, Banksy.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I'm not going to deny the fact that people claim that they have better lives. I again, that doesn't prove that God exists. That just proves that religious practices and religious orders and especially the stabilizing factor that religion provides. Why do you think I'm literally? I've said it several times. I want to launch a whole movement called Atheists for Jesus, because I believe that this country needs more Jesus. I want to encourage people to be more religious in this country. I want them to take up the cross, because the cross is, we are facing an existential threat from Islam, and the Christianity has to be fortified again in this country. So yes, I 100% want people to be more religious and more Christian.
You see, the problem is you're seeing it as some kind of memorandum, or as some kind of.
No, I see it as a pragmatic. I'm a
You
pragmatist.
you don't get to experience God until God chooses you to have that experience, and in order for that to happen, then you have to meet some certain protocols.
Well,
That's
no,
Dude, you know
this
what's
is this is
funny?
like the chicken and the egg. It's like, well,
not the
God
chicken
won't
and
show
the
you
egg.
something unless you prostrate and lick his testes.
It's
Well,
not.
if I refuse to lick his testes, then he won't show himself to me. So it's like, which comes first?
Like a typical atheist, you've lowered the tone because that's all you've got, because that's the only direction you can take a conversation, which is down to the gutter. Whereas, let me elevate you a little bit and let me help you kind of come up a few levels. What I was going to say is written perfectly: repent, the kingdom has returned. So you can start with that, where you pray and you repent of the things that you have done wrong. But if you're sitting with a tea cozy on your head and thinking you haven't done anything wrong, you're never going to get to that vibrational level where God can even be bothered to communicate with an individual that doesn't want to communicate with him.
First of all, I have you know that this tea cozy is also worn by Mohammed bin Salman, the royal prince, crown prince of Saudi Arabia, and many, many million billionaire sheikhs in Qatar and Abu Dhabi and Dubai. This is not your a cloth to be taken so lightly, sir. One thing I want to ask you, Manny, since you said you would lobby against the atheists, would you lobby also against your fellow Gurdwara Sikhs, because they don't certainly follow the ways of Jesus? And also, I noticed that you don't mock the headwear of Raj as often as you mock the headwear that I am sporting tonight.
Firstly, I never said that I would lobby against atheists in those terms. And in regards to your second point, that I don't mock the Sikh headwear, I've previously have said publicly that I have tried a turban on before, and I don't think it's suitable headwear for absolutely anything. I would never want to wear a turban. I would never profile a turban. I never promote a turban. It's not something that I kind of, how can we say, promote or I agree with. This is the funniest thing with the turban. You go to Punjab in India, and the turban is what a six-pack is in the UK. Seriously, I'm not even joking. Whereas you bring the turban to the UK, and the turban becomes what a tea cozy on a head is, right? Because it's not part of the culture, it's not part of the local scenery, and it's not really kind of something that people aspire to have or want to have. So yeah, I don't, I'm not pro turban whatsoever. If that makes you feel better, if you want me to criticize it.
I just wanted you to use the same sort of derogatory terms towards Raj when you see him on the stream next about his headwear than you do about my headwear.
I know this is ignorance of me, and maybe I should have known before, but is a turban to do more with the religion, or is it to do with cultural dressing that came about?
Religion.
Oh, okay.
Well, the thing is, the turban is a widely used head covering in that region of the world anyway. The Afghans wear it, the Arabs wear it, the Persians wear it. It wasn't. It wasn't. It became a religious thing when the Sikhism came about. But the turban goes back long before Sikhi ever
As far as the Sikhs are concerned, it's a crown such as what monarchs wear, but made out of cloth. I know it doesn't look much of a crown to us here in the West because we're used to metal crowns, diamond encrusted with rubies and the rest of it. But the turban is actually a fabric crown, and it's to say that the Sikhs or the Sikh men are kings.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that might be the interpretation, but generally, I mean, it's worn. I mean, even this is a headgear which is suitable for the desert. It's light, but also gives you a good head covering and keeps the sun off your head. Essentially, that's what all these things were really about. It's just that the Sikhs, took it, and it's not just the headgear though. The Sikhs actually have the kirpan. They have the little bracelet thing. Is an actual compilation of attire that they have to wear in order to show themselves to be pious, I guess, to their religion. I guess it's the same as Muslim women's hijab, Muslim men's little head cap, the Jewish, cap. What was it called? The little hat that the Jews wear. And it's just a ridiculous religious nonsense, which probably originated from some kind of desert gear.
What did the Jewish hat originate from? I don't know.
The kippah, that's it.
What does it resemble? What is it meant to signify?
It's you cover your head in front of the Lord.
So they chose the smallest hat possible.
Well, I think it evolved over years, but yeah, it's for them. It's when you talk to God or when you're in commune with God, you always you should cover your head.
I heard a conspiracy that it was more to do with the fact that the Jews were told they have to show a mark of respect to the Roman Catholic Pope, and that's where it came from.
Oh no, because the Jews were covering their heads before Christianity.
Yeah, but in a different way, not with the Pope cap.
Maybe. Well, I mean that little thing. As I said, it may have evolved to different forms over the years. But the Muslims have a similar thing as well. Sorry, Jupes, you were going to say?
No, I had a bit of a conspiracy once that's why magistrates wore wigs in the courtroom. But I think that just come about because at one point in Britain, people were losing their hair, like big time. And because of nits, apparently, they used to shave a lot of their hair off. And because of arsenic, they had arsenic in a lot of things that also killed their hair. Yeah.
Also, a lot of them suffered from syphilis, which actually made your hair fall out. And this is why the whole, that Renaissance period of the French with the wigs and the white faces
exactly.
and all that.
And that's really when the magistrates sort of took off during that time. And
also,
that's why.
Yeah, and syphilis. Syphilis was a big thing. They had everybody had syphilis.
So can we just look at this article that Jupiter's shared? So this is a great article, Jupes. So it states here that the studies have shown that religious people are healthier, happier, and more engaged in their communities. Religiously active people are better off than those who are religiously inactive or those with religion affiliation. So if you look at the current panels, Banksy being an atheist, I know.
I know the dig's coming.
I know Jupes is rich because she gets a new living room every season. I've seen more living rooms in Jupiter's background than I've seen tea cozies on Banksy's head. Let's put it that way. Oh no! I've seen more chandeliers hanging from your living room.
Did you see my gold kitchen, Manny? I decided to spray paint and everything my kitchen gold, and people got the right.
Oh, gold or brass?
No, gold. I went and got gold spray paint for my units, and then I did everything gold. Gold.
Oh, let's have a look. I haven't seen it. Show
Where's
me.
my video? See if I still got it up on here somewhere.
Oh, that's amazing.
I
So
might
you
have to-
spray painted the kitchen tops?
Yeah, I might have to WhatsApp
How
you.
did you
the
do
image.
that?
Yeah, I did it. It come out good. Let me see if I can find it on my WhatsApp and I'll send it to you.
So how did you seal it? How did you seal the paint?
Well, I
Okay.
use boat varnish.
Ah,
And guess what?
go
They
on.
must have known. Everyone was going, oh, I said, I'll start a trend. Don't you worry about that. B&Q then brought out a gold paint.
Hey.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And now I've painted over with the
It
gold
looks like
paint on top.
it looks
so-
like Trump's living room now.
Shush. Everyone said it looked like a mosque. I was like, oh, it looks like a mosque now. Right, I've done it. Let me find it. I'll find a picture.
Yeah, the Arabs love gold. Everything's golden.
Everybody loves gold. It's not just the Arabs.
Yeah, but it's tacky as hell. I mean, you've seen.
I
the
loved
way-
it. I loved it.
Oh no,
Carry
no,
on
it's
talking
it's
while I
it's
find
nice
it.
depending on how. But the Arabs, they do it so horrifically tacky. They have no taste. But yeah. So the thing is, Manny, you're showing me that article like as if you're proving something to me. I don't care. It's not even that I don't care. It's that I encourage the British, the masses, to be more Christian. Yes, embrace the crosses on your flag. Embrace your Christian heritage. But for me, I'm a pragmatist. I look at it as Christianity is a pragmatic step to take against the ever encroaching Islamification of Britain and Europe.
So your battle is against Islam, and you're using Christianity to fight it.
No, I'm encouraging Christianity because Christianity is the only way because atheists and secularists are the ones who got us here. They're not the ones that are going to solve this problem. Christians
you.
are the ones who are going to solve this problem.
That's you. So you're the problem.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not that. You see, no, the thing is,
Why don't
I'm
you-
not the one who
why-
set the policies.
Why don't you become Christian and then lead the way?
Because, Manny, let's be honest. Let's completely level this. This is exactly what I said to Jupiter earlier. Would you rather me to lie? Would you rather for me to lie to be a Christian? Than
But
to
then you're also
actually be
saying
a
that
Christian?
those that do fulfill your strategy are liars.
No, I want them to embrace their heritage. My heritage isn't Christian. I didn't come from a Christian
But
heritage. If anything, my heritage is Zoroastrian.
Well, Christianity is not like Islam. You don't follow a protocol. Christianity is a relationship.
I sent it to you, Manny, in the private in your messages. Yeah.
No, the thing is, yes, I agree that that you can embrace Christianity the same as you can embrace Hinduism or Buddhism. But the fact is that I want Britain. What I actually want is Britain to embrace its core heritage, and its core heritage, at least for the best part of 1,000 years, has been Christian Britain. That's why every aspect of this country has crosses all over it. That's the very thing that you have behind you is composed of 3 crosses. The cross and Christianity are synonymous with the core of this country. What I really want, and if we could get that without Christianity, I'd be happy too, is for Britain to go back to its roots and to its core, because I am a conservative. I want to conserve Britain.
Lead the way.
Yeah, but I can't lead the way because I'm a foreigner. I can lead the way for Iranians. The British have to lead the way for Britain.
Why do you go
I
back
can
to
help. I can guide. I can. I can stand shoulder to shoulder with them. But the British have to take the lead, and I'm glad that they are already. I see it all the time now. I see it in front of these hotels. I see it at protests. I saw it at the Tommy March. Great British men, Englishmen, Scotsmen, and Welshmen, and Irishmen who are standing up now and are finally taking their place as the leaders and the people who should, lead the charge towards a British society again, because we're not living in a British society anymore. And
let's have a look. Let's just have a look.
wow, that is
Let's
good.
just have a look at this. I'm just
That
kind of
is a
marvel.
lot of gold
Sorry,
there.
Banksy. I don't mean to cut you off. I just need to. This is like not just the appliances, not just the cupboards and the doors, but even the metal sink.
Yeah, gold.
And the tap. Well, I mean, the metal sink and the tap. I mean, that's actually quite obvious. That's I mean, they have it in Saddam Hussein's toilet was gold.
Until it matches the
Everyone,
were the tile-
everyone, when you've turned your kitchen into a mosque.
But were the tiles in already? Like
No,
where were
we've
the-
done that as well. I like it. I like it. It's only
I'm impressed how you managed to get the fridge
sprayed it.
to be gold. Yeah, because the fridge is.
Oh my God! Look, I just saw the boiler.
All of it. Yes.
That's brilliant, Duke.
And then I changed the curtains. That's before I got the new curtains as well.
But
Changed
why?
them.
But why not the washing machine?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
Well, I was thinking about spraying it, and then I was like, nah, it was new, and I didn't have the heart.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
that's
So-
true.
and it's within its warranty, and if anything,
Yeah,
goes-
It might have warranty issues if you just gold. Well, you could. Here's the thing: look for sticky back plastic.
Yes,
Gold.
yes, I've seen
then-
that since Banksy,
You
so I
could
might
line
try
it.
that.
And Jupiter's got an air fryer with gold handles to match the kitchen.
Yeah. So there you
Was
go.
the air fryer already with the gold handles?
I already had the air fryer, the
All right.
kettle.
I like the
and-
kettle matches as well. Yeah, the kettle matches the air fryer and the toaster and the microwave.
Oh gosh, that's a good set, isn't it?
That is nice.
Yeah,
I like this. I like the matching set there. That's a nice nice match.
That's a
To
nice
be
treat.
honest with you,
You-
the gold isn't that bad. I thought it was going to be like horrifically tacky, but it actually isn't that bad. It actually it looks okay. I mean, obviously it's not going to look like a real gold. It's
It
not
don't
made out
look
of gold,
brilliant
but-
because I'm not the best decorator in the world.
but no, but
looks
it
better than-
actually
yeah.
looks much better than I expected. I expected it to be some god awful tacky shit, but it's surprisingly nice.
Oh, thank you very much. You expected it to be fucking tacky, did you?
Look, I'll be honest.
I'll have you know
People
you
who
can
do
come
that-
in my house and have a cup of tea with a clean cup. I'm telling
I
you.
I love it. No, look. I know a lot of Iranians, and they do a lot of tacky gold shit in their houses. It looks horrific. I know people.
Anyway, that's enough, Maddie. I think we've had
No,
enough of
no,
that.
it looks
I
great.
think
It looks
My
surprisingly good.
favorite reason why I keep going. My favorite is that you've even gone
The
to
sink.
the extent of doing the metal sink. That's
Well,
like,
yeah, you gotta do the sink. I mean, you can't. not-
yeah,
not
that
do
is
the sink.
such a good effort. Well done.
That is. And but I mean, I know Iranians who have like Greek white pillars in their houses.
And
stuff.
then
It's,
after I'd done my kitchen, right, I'll show you this as well. I'll send you this, Maddie. After I did my kitchen, I was like, do you know what? I want a dishwasher, but my kitchen's so small. And then I found portable dishwashers, didn't I? Right? And I managed to find a gold one. Let me show you it.
You've got gold dishwasher.
yeah, you can actually get these smaller sort of like portable dishwashers for campers and camper vans and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's where I got the idea from. I see somebody doing up a camper van, and I was like, oh, you can get mini ones.
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
Yeah, I'll show you the dishwasher I got as well. Hold on, let me get the photo up. But so I ended up getting a mini dishwasher as well that sat on the side as well.
Nice.
Let me get it. Got a picture here somewhere.
Where do you
You
get?
can even get mini washing machines as well.
Dupes, those towels are really nice. I like them.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
Well
So
done.
Did you add the gold to the towels, or the towels came like that?
no, they came like that. I matched it all in. I'm brilliant at
Bloody
matching. Don't you worry about that. Right, so share this one to Bunny. So yeah, this is my dishwasher as well. It was annoying though, because when it come, all the instructions were in Turkish. I had to go online and translate it.
Oh my god. Nowadays, I don't know if you experience this, Manny, but you know these flat pack equipment, like things that you buy from IKEA and Argos and stuff. They don't come with instructions anymore. They don't have a piece of paper with assembly instructions. You have to go online and download the assembly instruction. They come with like a QR code. I bought something from IKEA, this cabinet thing. I was like, how the hell am I supposed to assemble this?
I sent it to you. I sent it to you, Manny. You got a picture of a dishwasher as well now.
Yeah. So yeah, nowadays in order to be green, they don't even give you assembly instructions.
See,
Ah, nice.
even got that in gold as well. Yeah.
Oh, well done. Good match.
That actually is it's remarkably
So
good.
what is this, like a desktop dishwasher?
Yeah, it's like this one. You don't have to plumb it in, so it's portable. It goes, you move, you just pick it up. So you plug it in. It's got a hose, and you just put the hose round the back into the sink. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I watch a lot of these van life kind of van builds, and people live in their vans and whatnot, campers and stuff. So I saw them in those because I watch a lot of this stuff.
So where does the water come from then? What am I missing? So where
You
does
fill
the
it
water-
up. You see at the top there. There's a. You can see I've got the lid of it off.
Oh
At
yeah,
the top there,
yeah.
you just you put it in with a funnel. You just fill it up so many liters, and it goes off.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Especially if you have small places that you don't
Yeah,
have.
because my kitchen's tiny. Yeah.
Yeah, so is mine. I actually, funnily enough, don't have enough room even for one of those. But then, I don't really need to. I don't have a lot of people. I just I use the Bill Burr method of one plate, one set of spoon, fork, and knife, and one bowl for like cereal. It's just the one. So if I use a second one, I have to wash the first one. I cannot use a second plate or a second bowl if the first one isn't washed.
Yeah, that's called OCD, but it's a good actual system.
Well, it's the only way to keep my stuff from piling up in the sink.
Yeah,
If
it's
I
a
just
good
keep using
system, but that
bowls,
is OCD. Yeah.
yeah, but the thing is, I found ever since I started that method, my sink is always nice and clean. I've always got my dishes washed because I force myself to wash. Otherwise, I'm a single guy. You realize if I left that shit, and I did for many years, believe me, before I started this process, I would have a mountain of plates and bowls and knives and forks just piled up in the sink because I'm a lazy ass.
I love decorating though, and I love doing things different. That's the thing. I don't like to be the same as everybody else, as people probably have guessed. I mean, let me show you this one then, Bunny, and don't put this one all over the bloody thing because it's my daughter's bedroom. But I recently did my daughter's bedroom, right, Manny, and you can talk through what you see. Don't show it on the screen.
Okay.
Let me get it for you.
High level of trust there, dupes. All right, let's go.
Manny, I expect you to behave yourself.
No, of course. I've never. I would never do that. I'm still baffled how nice your tiles are.
It says he would never do that, giggling. Fucking hell. I don't know whether I should send you it now then.
Oh no, if you don't trust me, then don't.
No, I will send you it. But I did my daughter's bedroom as well. I've decided that I was going to do my daughter's bedroom.
Gold.
No, hers is pink and grey.
Oh, okay.
Right, so this is her room. I'll send it to you. Hold on. Oh dear. This one. Where's Manny? I did hers because well, she just wanted everything grey, and I can't. I was like, no, everybody has just grey. So I ended up doing it pink and grey. Right, I sent it to you.
Grey's a bit.
Everybody does that, grey and white though, grey and white.
Really?
And I've got a bit of a kind of old-fashioned sort of like taste, I suppose.
All right. So you did it very pretty. So first and foremost, you put a corner sofa in with load of cushions, so she's comfortable. A drawer curtain between the bed and the sofa, so it must be quite a large room. So you've got a four-poster style.
It's
bed.
pretty, isn't it nice?
Yeah. And then the very nice storage. Did you do the storage? Go on, Jupiter. Check you out. Oh, you even did the radiator. Well done. You do have an eye for detail.
Yeah, so there you go.
Did you literally do all the painting and everything yourself?
Yeah, and
Yeah, I do most of
Wow.
it as well. Hector helps me on the big stuff, but I enjoy doing most of the stuff myself.
define the big stuff like the roof and stuff.
Right, so basically I don't like drilling. So when we had to do the rail, in fact you can show it, just show it.
No,
The
we don't want to show your daughter's bedroom.
the rail for the curtains and things like that, he has to come in and do that for me because I won't touch a drill.
Right.
But yeah.
Oh, you even got this kind of lace floral thing for the curtain. You're very creative, Jupiter, I must admit.
So,
You should be. Do you know those programs that they do where they have the makeover in the bedroom? You should do some of those programs. You're very good.
yeah, but I love decorating. You know.
Well done. Oh, and you chose a carpet as well.
Do you know what that is? Tiles.
No way. Really looks like carpet.
Yeah, tiles.
Oh yeah. Well done.
But you can't tell that. You wouldn't be able to tell that. And even if you do, it still looks classy in the real world. Because
Awesome.
it's easy. It's easy to keep clean. All of it's easy to keep clean.
Indeed, guys. I had 3 hours sleep last night, so I'm kind of feeling a bit worse for wear. So if you forgive me, I will end the live stream and get some shut eye because I'm back in hospital tomorrow and visiting my mum and see if she needs anything else.
Yeah, well, I hope she gets better, and I hope we cheered you up a little bit. You've had a bit of a giggle, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Jupiter. Thanks for coming on and thanks for the kind words. I do appreciate that. And also you, Banks, even though you're wearing a silly tea cozy, it's all good.
You know, you love our company, really.
Yes. Yeah. give my well wishes to your mom, and have a good
I will
one.
do. She can't pronounce your name. I've tried several times. She
Banksy?
refuses to say yeah. For some reason, she never remembers it.
Tell her Hafiz. Hafiz is easier, maybe. I don't know. But
Yeah, all right then. Take care, side
have
chat.
a good one, Jubes. Give
Even
my love to
the
Hector.
haters.
Especially the haters.
I love the haters. Big up the haters.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for
Peace
coming
out.
on. See
Take care,
you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Gonna play some violin on the way out. It was a very nice live stream. Thanks for Dukes and thanks for coming on. Let's have some violin. Big up Miss Piggy.